already know about it because you were told about it.
So what's this deal with time travel?
Scary, don't do it.
So if you guys know the future?
No.
No. It's never the future. It's only
that was
the
a pretty
past.
fast no there.
I mean, it's the truth.
Is there a barrier?
What do you mean?
You guys haven't tried it?
No, we haven't.
It's always been to the past.
Yes, it has.
And the problem is,
It's never on purpose.
yeah, some of them
So you have no control over.
It just happens.
It just happens. Nope.
And that's it.
Nope, that's it.
Most of the time we
So-
spend in those other.
Roll
It's-
insight. No.
Most of the time we spend in those other areas is spent trying to get out of those other areas.
Yeah.
Have you guys been here?
No, we have not been. No.
no.
We're on the other side.
The
of
problem
the world.
with it is you can do things in those time zones that totally change the world.
Okay, so whatever it's currently at, John, is perfect.
Sound is? Image?
Mostly
Image
TV
frozen,
just
right?
for a minute.
Oh no, the image just froze, yeah.
Don't touch anything that belongs to that time zone. Don't bring money back from it. Don't bring anything back from that time zone. You can also not use your money there. So if you have the ability to use gems are undetectable.
And sound is gone again? She said?
Now it's all cut out. The fixture's frozen and there's no sound.
But actual coins, I mean, bargain
Okay, it's
goods.
all about the Connect. We're going to have to get another camera to replace that one. 'Cause that's
Which
what's
one?
causing-
The Connect is malfunctioning again.
The Connect has always been the problem. Every time it's a great camera.
9 out of 10 times.
But it causes the sound problems now too.
So you need another one like the Logitech?
Well, like an actual.
Yeah, no, the second Logitech.
Okay. I don't know how much that one cost. A friend gave it to me
Maybe like 20.
from
Like,
Australia.
oh, from Australia?
Yeah.
If you like, John, I
Yeah.
can. There's a place that I got my 3D printer from. They have like a lot of studio stuff, like projectors and everything.
Sure.
If you want, I can go get a price and see how much everything would cost and get back.
Well,
to you.
if we're going to do that, we would want to get a third one. Because then we can do
Well,
what we were talking about before.
I would just let you know how much everything costs if you're okay with that. They're only open Mondays through Fridays.
Yeah. So you probably want to talk to my angel.
I'll get a price and relay and everything.
She says sorry. He's like, no, we needed to fix it. It sounds better now though.
Okay.
Another
Worst
thing-
case scenario, we just do without video and
Right.
we just have sound.
Yeah. Or we just do this.
Aha. Put it up on.
We lose me.
No, John, no.
100% less Nycos. Oh wait.
No. Not without
That was
you,
an inside.
John.
That was an inside joke. I'm sorry.
So I think this is. Are we heading out?
Yes.
All right.
Well, good luck on your end.
Oh my goodness, the magic that keeps you
Oh,
together is
I
fading.
still have to find out
Just a
about
little
her
fade
commune.
thing.
Can she banish the soul out of there and call the other soul?
Cast dispel magic and cast dispel good and evil, and you'll be right as rain.
Say again?
Cast dispel good and evil. Get the soul out of there, and then you're gonna figure out on your end how to put the new soul back in.
Okay. How do I call the soul from the soul? Or the soul trap?
I think that's
To
a
get
perfect place
the
for Mary to be
soul
done.
out of the body.
You need to have a spell that can actually push.
Put the
Dispel
spirit back in
evil
vogue.
good. To get the spell back into the body, I've no
Have you
idea.
seen Always Sunny?
Well,
The
that's
play?
the trick. That's what
I just
call
started
that.
firing
The
into the
troll.
crowd.
No. Always Sunny. Put the boy back in the hole or something like that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that kill the other if there's no soul to put back in
You
it?
gotta pay the toll to get the boy.
Wow.
And I wouldn't want to leave a blank soul. I mean, a soulless body here.
I don't know what to tell you. I'm not in the business of moving souls around like they're playing cards.
Neither am I, which is why I needed to ask.
Okay. No.
And clerics
So actually,
Don't get
this is a good question, and at any time for the Miri and the Tiara. Is it better to kill them or better to let them live?
She's Mary.
Both of them,
It's not-
Tiara and Miri.
This is
Okay.
that's a weirdly point blank question.
Well, no, because we can't. If Bob wants
Mary
the soul, is
is
it better to
not
kill them?
into killing them because she has met a couple that are not as, well, shall we say, hostile, antagonistic, and detrimental to our lives
Trust
of
me,
these others.
Trust me, based on the conversation I had with this particular other, he was very antagonistic.
Yours was, yeah.
Yes.
But I'm saying that the other one was, Margaret was not. And she's had contact with her, and then we were able to help the others from Solis to get to Submariner. And we did a good job there. Now, Submariner hates us because we destroyed their whole
What were you
camp.
saying? I was gonna say you could talk to the harbor master.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Master's like a demon devil thingy, isn't he?
He
You've heard
is
about
a
him.
demon held here by a devil sword.
He might
He's
provide-
a devil
I
held
don't
here
trust
by a
him.
demon
He
sword.
might provide some entertainment.
Is he a? He's a devil held here by a cursed demon
Why?
sword.
Why is he here? You're like a monster hunter. Why did you let him live?
Because I have no weapons to kill him.
Oh, would you like some help?
And he's trapped. Technically,
He's at an impasse.
yeah.
He can't
He
leave and he
can't.
can't go-
He's not causing
Now
any
you have
harm.
sound.
Now we have sound?
He's not causing any harm. He's been here for hundreds of years, according to Kern, because Kern is our local. I'm not from here, but
So you'll splash water on somebody that you don't know.
He
whether or
carries a cursed
they
sword
cause
that
harm.
keeps him frozen here.
Just in
it's kind of
case.
like a trap.
not. Okay, just clarify.
It's trapped him here.
But I don't know you.
So, do you want him gone?
Yeah, preferably.
Okay.
There's sound. It's still faint.
They say
Up
they
there.
Set up
Yep.
a little chair and just with
Oh,
popcorn.
Ashley says sound is back and good.
Good.
You're gonna help.
Yay.
with a little sickle.
What do you mean?
Tiara
Well,
says
I got some stuff, but not.
I don't know if you want to
About
turn the camera that way a little
the
bit.
others.
It's as
Got a lot of
centered as I can.
I mean, if there was a
I gotta move
peaceful
the map
solution,
out,
it would be
move the
great.
map out.
If there was a way we could find
Or
out
just
what
minimize
they
it or
need and let them get about with it without
Listen, we
destroying
first
Nycos. But
have
they've been so adamant about destroying us.
we first have to persuade them to think that we're on their level in terms of ability to do offense, because otherwise they won't bother with negotiating with us. That's what phase 2 is. Phase 3, if we ever get there, is going to be for them to land and to join Nycosian society as not Mongols.
Oh, there's nothing left to land.
Whatever's down there.
I'm not gonna roll with that quite yet.
Okay.
I want a wreckage.
Oh, you assume that everything must fall to the ground.
I'm assuming that everything must fall to the ground. I want a wreckage. That, and it doesn't matter anyway, because the ability for them to do annihilation is not tied to the
Right.
ship. So I don't know if we'll ever get to
Wouldn't
phase
the
2.
wreckage fall into Nimbus because of the?
That's what that was really the point. Is that if it's a
Yeah,
gravitation,
because they're
if it-
closer to Nimbus than us, and then Nimbus exerts a much
right, and the
heavier-
only issue is that they were geosynchronously held, and so therefore there's no longer geosynchronous orbit if their ship has been disabled and or destroyed, in which case the wreckage would never make it to the surface, because if it was blown up, it's going to get atomized on the way in, and if it wasn't, it's going to fall into Nimbus. But his point is he's waiting to see the wreckage.
It doesn't matter regardless, because it doesn't rely on the
Right.
candle to do annihilation.
Right.
Okay, the commune.
Okay, but that's an in character in this session. So
Okay.
that's part ways. Anything else in particular you guys want from or need from here?
I'm good. Find cord and then we go.
Yeah,
It's
that's
been
fun,
awkward
guys.
to be like cord here.
Yep.
I imagine
That
he
would
comes
be
back with like a fresh
problematic.
alligator hat.
Exactly. Or a good recipe for crocodile chowder.
And a crocodile.
No, make him stew.
No,
Meat
he's found a way to
stew.
use the scales as chips for it.
There you
Oh
go.
my god!
Crunch.
That
Crocodile chips. We'll have to make those to go with chummy.
Though you can't
Deep fried
quite,
alligator tastes
they're
like
not
chicken.
scales as you normally think. They're actually calcified. The bone is calcified into the scales, which it makes its armored surface. You
And
know,
for a
it's-
dragon, it makes him crunchy.
For a dragon, it makes it crunchy. Plenty of calcium to build up the bone.
For a Goliath dragon thing.
Alrighty. Well, thank you
It's
again.
called seasoning.
Dawn Guard. By the way, you could announce that too. That we got
But
the official name for
It's
the
not
episode.
gonna help if I get sent away and I still don't resolve this problem with this poor creature here.
They're gonna take
To
the poor
be
creature away.
continued.
It's no longer your problem.
Right. Creature is a local problem.
It's not.
Miri, this goes back to you are a paragon. You cannot think about the individuals any longer. You have to think beyond that. Just like you got this target fixation on finding and talking to Margaret, but that's an individual. You may never get a chance to talk to her, even though you now know that she's around. But you have to, as a high level character, you have to start thinking beyond that. You're saying, but I want to save this one soul. It's like, they'll save it. They'll deal with it locally. You have to trust them to do that.
She tells him it's a thing that goes like
There.
that body.
He's like, yeah, okay. There's one. I know a way to rectify it.
I gave you some advice. We gave you some magic items
Yep.
and some barter, so you can like sell that and get a horse.
Miri
or
is
something.
not happy.
We can sell the horses.
If somebody-
She might have to raise to another level, but she is still quintessentially a life cleric.
I get it.
Is she
I
gonna
get
have
it.
another episode of walking around the streets with her blankets, her bedroll?
Right. All right. Thank you guys, and see you guys on Wednesdays, 6 p.m. New episode name will be Dawn Guard, episode 1. I haven't come up with the exact name for it yet, but
25 points of Sunday experience.
oh, I could even give them 300. It wouldn't matter. Their level, it won't take them.
Tens
Oh
of
no,
thousands.
no, it's Sunday experience. That just means the players.
I got you.
Okay, bye. I got a car to wax and wash.
Oh,
All right.
Wax on, wax
more
off.
fun to you.
So you're more than welcome to come up and sit at the table, like with, even though you don't have your character sheet. You're back.
I just feel bad that he's been in the corner this whole time.
This is just when I got here. That's
Oh, man. Just
worries.
quiet.
Yeah.
Just trying to pull him.
I'll transfer stuff over here.
Yeah. Get him a small table so he can drink on it.
I got a few.
Woohoo!
It's,
Nice.
it's not a paladin, but
It doesn't matter.
Let me
you
see.
could add a shield maybe later. Like,
Yeah,
Well, he's got a shield on the lightning one,
Yeah.
and he does have armor.
I just need to get a big axe instead of a big sword.
And now
I
you
think he
have
can probably make that for you.
split nail,
I could cut it.
which is pretty good.
We'll be not doing
Nail.
that one
I
on.
know miniatures.
Nice. We can kit bash it.
Yeah.
Kit bash the H
I
out
wish
of
I
it.
could kit bash more, but
Eggless, a little feminine.
If you want,
I have
Oh,
a
it's a
lot of
girl?
miniatures. I have not painted any of them.
if
Oh,
you
no,
ever need any kit
really?
bashing
All
stuff, I have
medicalizable.
boxes and boxes and boxes
Oh,
of
bro.
miniatures.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go see different guy.
Like arms and legs and
It's okay. It's
weapons
just
and-
No, I didn't even
No,
notice
it's-
that. I thought
there.
that
There is
was
no
a-
rule against it.
Yeah, but I
Oh,
wanna be-
good. I
was
need
wondering
some
how
head.
many-
I need a head of an elf.
Goliath figure.
The head of an elf.
Because one of them is well
And a different
endowed.
word.
Is it?
Elf, not elk.
I have a character, and I need some
Alrighty,
arms.
so I'm glad we fixed the site and the sound. I apologize for not having the extra camera, but that'll work. We'll work that out.
There he is.
There he is. Ha! That would have been so much easier. You want to look like this is
I
me.
do have this one too.
Yeah.
I still don't have Miri as Miri.
Figure.
Tiana is Tiana.
Tiara
so-
is a figure.
Tiara.
Alrighty. Nice seeing you.
Likewise.
Drive safe.
Congratulations on your new endeavor.
I was thinking about
Don't get them too far lost in the web. Oh, by the way, there's another word you might want to use that I used when I was running the far distant future of Nycos. Chrysalis. It's a term used for when a larvae becomes a butterfly.
Yeah.
It's the
But
cocoon.
it's the core of the crystalline net.
Oh, if I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna have to start bringing up Sailor Moon references.
Do what you want. I don't know.
I
anything
know,
about it.
sorry.
Don't know the series. That's your world.
That's my world. That's my Lord of the Rings.
In Nycos
Which series?
anime terms, it would basically be
Which
Oh.
series?
it would be Sailor Nycos.
Okay.
exactly.
She fights with the power of and the spirit of the moon.
Yes.
In the most bastardized way of describing it.
Alrighty. Alright.
And all of her allies are named after the planets of the solar system.
Gotcha. Of which you'd have no friends because.
Nimbus.
Do you have a female figure sword
I
machine?
don't have any females. Well, I got one female sword on board.
Okay. I
Work
may
for now.
borrow it.
Well, she's and it's a paladin figure too, so it works. Yeah, the rest are a little on
Did you get the
Reaper,
map-
which
the
means
map
they're
No. The other one looked worse. This one
Okay.
looks actually close to my character.
no, it's perfectly
So I
fine.
guess he's
I was just
wearing
trying to
away.
point out. I was just trying to.
No, they can wear. They can have
Apples.
long hair. There's nothing wrong with having long hair.
Alright, cool.
Look at The Witcher. He's got hair down to his shoulders.
I mean,
Yeah, but he's not a Goliath.
Goliath,
He's definitely another,
Gord's
though.
He's
idea of
another,
what
yeah.
his Goliath
Put the
looks
drink
like
down on the little
was
table. if you don't.
weird.
We can't. The issue is that this table is like $700. So we don't want to mess it up.
And the other groups don't treat it very well.
No, we do the best we can.
We do the best we can.
Alrighty. So now you can cast your spell.
Which one?
She's casting a command.
But no, I wasn't. It wasn't Tiara casting the command. She doesn't have a god.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
Mary that was
Mary has
cast.
to do it on her day. She can't do it.
Okay, fine.
I thought TR. Oh, you're not trying to communicate with your Deva. You're trying to actually communicate with the big man himself.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
not a priest. She's not a priest.
No,
Well, no, because
Mary is the
Azamars
priest.
have the Deva Council.
Mary is the cleric. Two
Yeah,
levels.
but Tiara does have the ability to
Communicate
consult
with an
the-
angel directly.
Yeah.
So
Well-
essentially,
Robert.
Ralgrum's best friend.
No,
Well,
they
no.
both have the same guard. They both have the same guide spirit.
The guiding spirit. Our angel guide. That's
All
what they
right.
call
So
it.
now you feel
Angel guide.
you felt frustrated and thwarted. That's why I wanted you to have some time to talk to the other, if you want, before the transition. You feel like they stole all your thunder. I apologize for that.
No,
Okay.
I don't feel like I got that.
Okay. I got that vibe from you about a third of the way through.
I'm sorry, that's not the vibe I was trying to give off.
Okay.
I wasn't trying to give off any vibe.
Okay.
It's information exchange. It's just,
I think it's really hysterical.
I found it not
Tiara-
very organic to just have information vomit in both directions.
Well, it actually should, though, in a way, because you guys were responding specifically to a message sent by Robert. All of what you were doing, or what you were intending to do, was based on Ralgrim.
No, I understand that.
And therefore, when he shows up, it's like, oh, we want you. Her attitude, even though it was a little open throttle, was accurate in that, oh my gosh, this is the person who's called us to do these things. We should show them what we're doing. Unfortunately, she also said, oh, and here's a lot of other things that you don't really need to know about that are not really any of your business, but here they are. Which all it really was a decent recap for anybody watching the show, so I didn't feel too badly about it. Because they're not going to do anything with it. They're not going to come rushing back to go after Bob or anything else, because he's, to their thinking, his little deal is nothing in comparison to what they're trying to deal with.
They're like up here.
So you don't really actually need to worry about these little things. There, some players, what they'll do is they'll cut off this bottom and make their own special terrain piece. They'll like put sand or like other detail pieces, sometimes mushrooms, and so this is for if you wanted to make a special custom one.
Oh, cool.
Or if the bottom was too small and so they keep falling.
It's also for if you're playing 5th edition, the hardline rules as written, and you're worried about the number of spaces that you're in, because you're only allowed to occupy any one 5 foot by 5 foot space. So that's what
I like bases.
bases are convenient.
Well, I was just saying he didn't
Yeah.
need to worry about them.
Doesn't have to. They do make the model slightly more stable, especially ones where they have a narrow base like that one.
The other one.
The
is
other one's
perfectly
better off.
fine.
Yeah. Alrighty. So now with the hubbub of the others, you do have your crowd outside is rather riled up about the fact that they saw him walk through. So It's like I said, the president walks through, or Walter Winchell, I suppose, the big newscaster in the sky.
Are they talking about our guests?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
Ralgrim.
okay.
Now it's Ralgrim approved.
Nice.
And there's the marketing campaign.
So goes the move to create the the rainbow veil.
Ralgrim wants you. That's right, we're making him Uncle Sam now.
No, it's much higher than that. It would be like,
God wants you.
yeah, God wants you.
I think with the pure vision of an angel, a lot of people are going to just start putting him in the same boat.
Yeah, you ought to see him. in
It's
his-
splitting hairs at this point.
Well, actually, he was in Deva form when he made the broadcast.
I know.
Exactly. That's
why
I'm
he
saying-
didn't trust him completely when he saw him and splashed the water in his face, because he says, "You look like the guy who cast the broadcast, but make sure you're not a faker."
Deep.
Well, I mean, the difference
That'd be funny
between
if he did that all
Ralgrim
the
and the
time.
Deva.
He does it
the
all the
Deva's
time.
like,
He does it all the time to people.
Instead of killing him, like just
like
like him
8
it.
foot tall or
No,
something.
no. Instead
The
of killing
size
him, when
is
he's
hard
not
to
sure
judge
if they're
in a
demon or
broadcast.
whatever, he
You
splashes
know.
holy water
But
on them
they're
to see if
physically-
Because if they are evil, the holy water will do
You didn't
damage.
even ask you like you lied.
He didn't even ask. Yeah,
That's funny.
and it's really funny.
In his hometown, it's a greeting.
Ralgrim's response was he anointing me or was he
Give me the
testing
water.
me?
Attacking him.
Splash.
Attacking him.
All right, so now you have a little bit bigger picture of the world since you had a chance to hear what else is going on in other places, and that will continue over time. What do you guys want to do next? You
I
do
got
have a
it.
demon in a box.
I got a question real quick. So that was like, they're playing on the same island, or the world. I mean.
The same world.
They're over
They're
there.
right there. We're right. We're red.
So we're on the same timeline and every week.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
They
cool.
play.
And
So they play
everything-
on Wednesdays,
everything-
coinciding with us.
And there's a third group on Fridays, and they're playing concurrently, and they're the ones that are responsible for the candle not being up there anymore.
But we don't know that.
But you
So
don't know.
whatever we do affects
probably
the
never
world
will.
and them too.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming together.
Make it
We're
easy. So,
integrated
That's cool.
in a way
Make it
that
easy
we're
to tell
all
Friday.
after the same sort of taking care of the others, but we're all doing
Yes.
in our own area, tackling the problems there and the other problems that we
Well, trying to figure out the big puzzle, because
Yeah.
the whole thing is that there is something that's affecting all of the world at the same time, which is the invasion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, what are we doing next?
Kara brings up, we can't let those, remember that they asked us to find, if we find any more of those boxes, to give them to them? We can't give them those gold arrowheads. I'm not sure what to do with them, melt them down and take them out of that form, but we can't give them gold
Can't give
arrowheads.
whom anymore.
there's literally 3 parties that are asking for these arrowheads. You have to be specific.
Okay, the ones that we met on the island that had come here to pick up stuff and it wasn't
traders.
there. The traders.
That's part of the 7 princes of
Yeah.
the alliance.
Because she said that they can be made into weapons that steal souls.
And she was being kind.
Yeah,
It's not steal souls, it's obliterate souls.
obliterate souls. Okay. Well,
Kill them until they are dead and not living anymore.
with apparently one hit. I mean, it just sucks.
That's something we can use
That's crazy.
Use?
against the others.
No, it's an abomination.
That's a lot of power.
That act is an abomination to take
And the
the
Republican
soul.
attitude is if they're in the right hands of the right people, even the most powerful weapons are perfectly safe. Like nuclear weapons
So much.
and Morgul blades.
Yeah.
Morgul anything. Morgul blades, Morgul arrowheads, I guess Morgul projectiles of some.
We need all the weapons we could get.
Immortal
right?
moon.
But we can't, first of all, we have no way of changing them. She said they can be changed, and apparently there is someone that can change them. But that doesn't mean that someone is on the good side or that we will have any access to it.
I think it's.
I
better-
don't think anybody good will change gold into a soul. She has to use stealing because that's what she heard. A soul stealing weapon. I think it's going to go in bad hands. And we can't afford to have that because they'll be used against us. It looks like there's more than battling others. They're seeing that Lich said you can't believe what's coming.
What lich?
Oh, the undead on the beach.
We
that
never-
was sitting in
You
the
never
throne.
ascertained that he was a lich.
We
No.
never ascertained his
Okay,
nature.
that undead that kept on throwing those ugly skeletons at us that were not white with pure bone, but
I
brownish.
was just gonna say we have a lich in our midst. I think the monster hunter is basically gonna start going
Yeah.
anti-lich.
No, okay.
nonsense.
The undead that was
Undead
on
are
the
not
beach.
my enemy, but I'm kidding.
Was he there for the undead
Undead
on
are
the
typically
beach?
instruments
He had
of the
to be.
fiends.
They
Yeah,
can
he
be.
was there.
They can be. They can be. That's the whole whether necromancy is.
I mean, he
evil.
sat there and
Yeah.
cackled
I just recently
as
watched
if he
like I
knew
said,
something we
a
didn't
movie
know,
about
and said, "You
Robert
don't
Cole.
even know what's coming."
About what?
Robert
And
Cole.
I-
Has it?
Most people don't
and
know him,
I
but he's
don't
the
know of
father
any
of
undead that deal with-
modern medicine. He went as an Englishman,
Living.
traveled all the way around the world
So,
to find a guy named
Are
Ibn
we
Sadr,
facing
who was an
maybe an invasion
Arab,
undead?
a Muslim who was
And the quartermaster
healing
is undead,
and who
he's
had
the one
discovered
that's
things
really
like
in control
anesthetics,
of the captain.
had mapped out the endocrine system and things like this.
Wait,
And
who
Anything
has
that
the
you could do
weapon?
from the outside.
Who has
Yeah.
that thing? that
Uh,
you're
Well,
talking about?
you
Even
build them
he,
down,
however,
you don't give
believed
them
that
to
to
that
cut into
trader.
somebody
Yeah.
was
We
immoral.
don't get them into anybody else.
But
That's better we have
Cole,
control over it,
when he
figure out
got
what it is
there,
all about.
he
how to
wanted
We
to
can
find,
use the
discover
gold
ways to save
to buy
people
real
because his mother had
weapons.
died of what they called
Demons
side
and
sickness
devils
at the
have
time,
souls.
which was
What?
Demons and devils, do they have souls?
appendicitis,
That could be helpful against the undead.
and you died
Like,
from
you
it.
have to have
There
a
was
soul
nothing-
in
Oh
it.
yeah,
right?
you
Yeah,
had
silver
first, someone would cut
against
you open and do
devils.
anything. You just
Right.
died of
Cold
septic.
iron
Well, to cut
against.
somebody open was
demons.
necromancy.
Those are do.
But,
So
like, do the
he
undead
ran
have
into a guy who
souls,
was
or-
Zoroastrian.
I don't know, but
Zoroastrians
they're certainly
believed their
looking
souls
for
left their
those.
body when you
Maybe
died, and
they
therefore your
can't
body was just a
craft
husk.
weapons. I don't know.
So
I
that
mean,
guy basically gave him
it's-
permission to use his body.
And study it.
I mean, some undead are quite intelligent.
Is there
Some
blacksmith?
undead are
Is there blacksmith?
are,
Sure.
are
Oh,
But he's not
Walking
necessarily a weapons
zombies,
blacksmith. We
you know,
established
they-
this from day
I
one.
need a weapons
He's
go
blacksmith.
forward.
He's more or less a
No, he's
General.
town's.
yeah, but
I like
the-
to silver my
But
repair.
to give them
That's
to
so
an
your blade,
unknown
that's actually relatively
quantity,
easy.
an unknown
Okay.
person or
With that
persons
Outside
that
game,
we
that
don't
would
know
help
how they're
against.
going to be
It
used.
gives
It's
you
as a magical
better
weapon
not to get
without
it.
the plus one.
what it does
Yeah.
is it gives you okay,
Mechanically,
on
I
Nycos,
know, but
on
Nycos
Nycos,
doesn't
on
matter.
Nycos,
Seems to
silvering
be-
a weapon allows you to get the magical modifier all the way until you make your first hit. That first hit will be as if you had a magical item. Expends the damage
Okay.
and then
After
needs
that,
to be
they
resilvered.
okay.
But you can silver a lot of things because a lot
Yeah.
of people will silver their sword and their daggers and their knives and their da da da. So that way they got multiple rounds of like all your crossbow bolt tips could be silvered.
And can you have
For the most
full
part, you
iron
only need
weapons?
silver weapons for incorporeal things like ghosts.
Question.
Undead itself doesn't do anything.
Do they have cold
Demonics.
iron?
Demonics don't like it, but in just base book 5th edition, silver weapons don't do anything to demonics. It's only to the were creatures like werewolves.
There are none
Yeah.
of those.
Yeah, there are none of those.
But
and
ghosts.
the
Which are
incorporeal such
undead.
as
Would
wraiths.
that
Well,
also include
If they're not
zombies and-
magical.
Is there cold iron weapons for demons?
Well, that's what I'm getting at. Is that what I've done? The silvering is silvering doesn't have any extra dimensional.
Okay.
Yourself
But it's
except
only
hit.
one hit and that's
on the
it?
first hit. Yeah, so crossbow bolts
Yeah.
are perfect for it.
But
Is there
for-
any permanent silvering that you can do?
That's called creating magic weapons, and no, the one person who has the capability isn't using it yet for practical, on large scale purposes, on the good guy side. That doesn't mean it's not happening, but the bad guys are soon to have magic weapons.
Yes, because they're worth those magical swords, and I think we should keep those out of the traders' hands too, since we don't know where they're going.
But you can't stop Craig from operating.
I can't, but I can blow down anything we find.
Yeah, I can see it at Paragon level. He's going to go, you know what? Let's just assault Craig. There's a lot of bad things going on in Craig. We need to just stop it right now.
I feel that once we hit Paragon, we're basically just never going to have a session that's not combat. Oh, we found an evil thing. It's dead.
We don't have combat.
Oh, I'm saying this group. This group seems to have a moral objection to everything. We're at one point going to find an evil squirrel, and we're going to go on a genocide against all squirrels.
Like, you gotta check.
See?
Can't trust any of them.
Yep.
See?
They're going for my nuts.
Find
I
one
don't want them
evil,
coming
they're
after my
all
nuts.
evil.
You know they control the whole world, right?
Wrong dimension.
Okay.
That's the one right next to us. We can only do the hop like 2 or 3 times.
But silver weapons against undead, it's that or ghosts. Will work consistently.
Silver weapons work against anything that is affected by required magical items.
It's
which
just the
includes
exception
demons,
of
etc.
outsiders. It's only a one-time first hit, and then after that, it's
Oh, you could do
No
arrowheads
No, that's
and shoot.
what we were talking about.
He's been saying that for the past 5 minutes.
No, it's in every case when you use the weapon
Yeah.
on the first successful hit, it'll lose its magical effect.
Mhm.
So putting them on crossbow bolts is a perfect example of the best way to use it.
Because then the second one
is
still is gonna work because I got it.
because the bolts are what are being
Got it.
magic.
Hitting.
Okay.
It's like the item, the arrow smiting. The bow itself is not the smiting item, it's the arrow.
It's projecting the projectile.
Right.
It is the method of delivering the damage, the weapon. The real weapon is the...
Yes.
Yeah, we got it.
I'll go ahead and do that.
Okay. So all it does is it
It costs like a silver crossbow bolt.
Got it. So all my bolts, which I only have 17, I'm gonna go ahead and buy more.
Is this old-fashioned plating where it's more or less just taking the coin and just stretching it over the top, or is this more of a chemical?
they're just melting the silver, and the silver is
Dunking it.
Yeah.
Quenching it.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, the issue is that silver is one of the few metals that Vex will actually connect with at the lower level naturally. It's drawn to it. That's what gives silver its sheen.
Oh, my concern was just because if he actually had to pound and put the coins and everything over them, it would make them very front heavy.
Yeah. No,
This way isn't as bad, but you'd still have to aim up a little bit.
Yeah, it's not enough to make not to be a
Horrible
damage.
detriment.
Well, it's silver plating. I mean, it's not even silver plating. It's everything.
Just silver coating.
Yeah. All right. So I'm glad we
Do you
fixed our
know
sound
what the
problem.
weapon proficiencies are for a cleric? Can they use a crossbow bolt? Crossbow?
You can use hand crossbows, but not hand crossbows. Heavy crossbows, but not hand or
Oh, yeah, I understand. Hand or reserve for drow.
no. It's just reserved for certain classes.
Okay.
Rogues get it. All fighters and paladins get hand crossbows.
Okay.
Rangers, I believe, also get hand
So
crossbows built in.
Oh, I don't have
Rangers have
any.
all the ranged weapons. So if we find a rifle from the other, you're getting it.
I
right
do.
off the
I
bat.
have those arrowheads.
Yeah, you've got a but they're gold arrowheads.
I know, but I'll have a metal kicked down and sell the gold.
Okay.
So what string
I
should we
want to
tug
get a
at?
crossbow bolt. I have 10 colors.
Yeah. So which string do you want to tug at? Which?
What's the options again?
So let's go over and
Let's
see
go
what
with the
strings we actually still have.
Go
seeing
with
as how we
butter.
decided to share a bunch.
Well,
And now we-
sharing in this case only was giving information. It did not take any of them off the plate. None of them are resolved by them.
No, none of them are resolved, but what I'm getting at is, do we now see as if these are even worth our time still, now that they've been... The option of somebody else being perceived as taking care of it.
I'd like to say that we did accomplish one thing.
Yeah, we did, and that
We
too.
got him back.
Mm-hmm. And that's what led to my other question of, do the other matter? Do these enemy ones matter in any sense? Do we not care about them in the soul, in the death, in the afterlife, whatever? Are they better dead or alive is the question. Because
The others?
yes,
I
because
would
the
say
problem
that-
is we can't have it both ways. We can't have the entire war out to kill them all, but then we also have to save them all. We actually have to come to a consensus
If
and
they're a
figure out
threat-
what we're choices.
If they're a threat, then they have to be stopped.
If we can get control of them, then I say
What
keep-
constitutes control of them?
we knock
Killing them
one
is
out.
controlling them.
Yeah, it's
You know.
controlling their ultimate fate. They're well controlled
So-
when they're dead. They're well controlled when their
not
soul
like
is sucked
that way,
out.
because maybe we can gain some more information or useful items. And then notice that he even couldn't run that machine. So if we can get access to some of those things and get the information on how to do it,
Well, now he knows how to control those machines.
especially like one of those long tubes with a handle on it.
A grabber.
No, she's talking about the sniper.
Oh,
I mean, they have things that we can use, but we don't have the knowledge to use them, and I don't think we have the Goliath here. Not,
Present
who
party
has...
accepted. The other one's not Goliath. You saw a dragon. You never saw Goliath.
Oh, I never saw Goliath. I just saw a half dragon. The half dragon to help us with the technology, the tech, the how to use them.
Right.
He apparently experimented with it,
He's actually carrying one, so he knows how to use it.
and he knows how to use it. But we would need another cooperative other that would help us learn how to handle these weapons. And we can start gathering them as many as we can. Tell them don't destroy them, bring them in. Don't play with them because they could actually cause them damage. And
don't play with them. We'll play with them.
but we might have another that could help us so that we could safely.
So our priority is to not kill the others, then.
Only if they threaten us.
No, this is
they
what
become-
I'm getting at.
Yeah.
We keep saying one thing, and then also expecting the other. The question is what is the first priority? Is it capture them alive, or just capture their tools, and then if we can happenstance on one, we can interrogate and go from there. We're constantly going with this whole we can do both.
Let's
If
say
you go in expecting to do both, you're going to do neither. And you're going to end up with all
But
the
we
weapons
did
destroyed
end up with
and
one.
dead. Yes, but that was not because we went in with the intent of taking every item. We captured one, and we wanted to capture his items too. We didn't capture his items.
Well, I mean, the
because
intention was just to get information.
Yeah, and
That's the
managed-
primary intention.
And that's when we focused on
But we
one
know,
thing.
that we know that they're. We know that they want this whole, all of Nycos. They believe it's theirs.
So I'm just going to stop
Right.
right here.
Mhm.
We know what they want. I'm asking, what are we deciding to do?
gain as
Are
much
we
of their-
Yeah.
to
gain as much as their knowledge as possible and as much as weapons as possible, and teach our people to use it.
so our priority is to capture them alive.
Yeah, the ones we can. Well, we know that we're not. If they're fighters will fight, but it might be the other ones that are not fighters won't fight, and we can take them. Because this one didn't carry a weapon openly. He had to reach inside his suit to pull it out. And he said that he was here to help revert these animals to their natural state. It doesn't sound like a military person. He wasn't here to protect, defend, or attack.
But demons lie, right?
Huh?
That's what
Demons
Lucius
lie.
is. Lucius is gonna say to that. He's gonna say, "Yeah, but demons lie."
Well, I'm not going to talk about if they're demons or not, because that means.
We checked already, right? They're cool. They're just basically.
Their hands are all marked.
But then I was also told they are us.
They have
It's like
fingerprints
3
we do
times.
Yeah.
They
So
are
that's how
part
you
of
can tell the
us,
difference
but
between other and us.
yeah.
Basically, a person born on Nycos doesn't have fingerprints.
Oh, okay.
So that's how you can tell the difference.
But humans from Earth have
Do-
fingerprints.
Terran, the
Terrans.
other, the other. have-
Terry.
The first generations.
Okay. Again, we're trying to
unactivated.
outfit these people, feed them, get them.
But you're almost 100 miles from the nearest direct incursion by others.
Yeah.
Apex is the nearest place. Are you going to use this as a military training base? Is that what you're going to do with your new incoming refugees?
I would say definitely. Now we need to outfit them with armor and weapons to make them
But
effective.
realize that your military trainers, although they are loyal to you currently, are still culturally red veil.
She doesn't know what that means.
No, I know.
Yeah, she doesn't know that, so she can't speak to that.
No, I'm just saying that for the benefit of the group, that your guys that are going to be training them are going to train them well. We're going to train them in the ways of
The
red
red.
veil argument. They're going to say control is the way you do this. We fight disciplined. We fight in long lines. We use mass weaponry. You know, we mass in
I
groups and walk in
have
straight
no
lines.
military training, no tactics, no strategy.
Yep.
What I
But that's what he's asking. Well, are you wanting to pursue this from a military standpoint? Do you want to go after the demons? Do you want to go after the submersible?
No,
Which is
well, no. To be accurate, what I'm asking is essentially what I keep trying to say, and I'm apparently just not conveying this well enough. How high of a value are we putting on the life of these other to the point where we can capture them, we can kill them, we can blow them up, we can dismember them, we can gut them while they're alive, but the second we start going, an evil person wants to do an evil thing to them, now we're drawing lines. How evil can we be to them, and they
So,
can't be? So the
right.
question is, where is this line?
So
that
the
we're
person
trying
to
to
ask,
dance?
ironically, is the one who's actually had something possessing him. Your paladin has to be the one to make the choice, because the divine soul sorcerer is from his standpoint, divine soul sorcerer is an outsider. Whatever she says, he's got to be circumspect about it. His position is just kill them all, let God sort them out.
To an extent of, I mean, they're here already. If they're gonna attack us, then yeah, we gotta attack them first strike. But that's why I'm asking about intelligence, information. What are they up to? They're claiming all this. Are they gonna pretty much go around and start, death squads, everybody? Like,
Me personally,
Take
I'm going with
everybody
the assumption that they already established that they came into a town and said, either you evacuate or you're all going to die, and they followed through on that. That's
Yeah,
the ultimatum:
now-
die or leave.
and then it comes down to, are they gonna come to our town? It's survival. That's how I see it. It's
And that's what I'm
purely
getting.
survival.
And
That unless if it's they're an invading army, do we wait for? We have to find out if they're gonna come our direction.
And that's the question I'm trying to
Yeah.
get at.
And the other
When they
thing-
come, if they come knocking at the door, and they say leave or die, do we fight or do we leave?
leave. So the people are there afterwards.
No, we
Yes.
take them out.
So see,
No.
this is where the
The
split is
problem
going.
is-
That's
they-
why
And
Mr.
I
Prudent
agree.
here. Mr. Prudent. Okay, so for
I
clarification, something you may not know about paladins.
Yeah.
The concept of the paladin in Dungeons and Dragons, he is intended to be the party leader. He has to have a high charisma, and he has to be pretty tough. So this is a situation where these guys are bickering back and forth. We need a practical, pragmatic approach that keeps the two sides from either being angry with each other or revolting against the overall. So what is your personal opinion about what you should collectively do should the others come knocking?
Just them themselves, not the ships or anything.
This is with the implication that they are coming full tow.
With all their technology.
They will blow us off the map if we do not give in to them.
So if we fire them,
So
basically dead.
No, this is
Well,
going with that.
This
that
is
if
the
we can fight-
this is why when you have the opportunity, do you preemptively strike? Do you go after their resources? Do
I
you
think
try
that's why that we should go after their weapons, so at least we could be at level. And then you said someone knows how to use the rifle or something?
That was the other. That was
The other guy?
That was the other group.
The other groups,
Levu.
the other groups
Go over there.
Goliath.
Did he show us? Or I don't know.
No, but he
The
did
player
clarify that he
wasn't here.
does know how to use it.
The other player wasn't really here, so he kind of just
And
came
we
in,
do
showed
have-
that he existed, and then left.
We do have some sort of communication. So
Now, once a month, we'll have a way for you to find out what's
yeah.
going on.
If not, I mean, we can ask him. Hey, we found this. Try
Can
to
you-
give us a rundown. And
Alright,
then-
so-
but-
I think we should get some of their weapons and see if we could do that without harming anyone. Anybody. And if
Now,
they-
harming, you're not going to harm the bad guys?
Well, like a secret, like
So he wants
go
to
in there,
stealth it.
Trying to stealth it, yeah.
But what happens if you must kill?
We have to kill. They've already attacked us first.
Okay. Just clarifying that. Okay.
So, but
Arms
we can't
race.
take on huge groups. We've got to do it stealthily, and we have to pick an appropriate target.
But you got to find them. Right.
Yeah, we got to find them.
Yeah.
We have to find an appropriate size group. But they all have those weapons, and we know we have to kind of like cause traps and neutralize or cut off or.
Okay. But is this going to be, okay, from my standpoint, is this going to be your primary concern, or are you going to pursue the question of the submersible and the deals that Gellin Pridewater is doing? You didn't mention any of that to them. You didn't mention the fact that your warehouse is fundamentally currently compromised because you made a deal with him concerning that, and he's working with possibly the crew of the submersible.
Yeah,
They
the
didn't.
quartermaster.
No, they didn't need to know all that, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
there's a lot of local stuff you can do that has
I-
nothing to do with the overall
Okay,
big story.
I do
So
think
is
the
Sunday going to be about
submersible.
the other? Is
Is
the
it
first
Okay,
question.
did you hear his question? That is actually a really good
This
question.
is the first question. Is Sunday going to be about the other?
Or
Because
we-
if the answer is yes, the rest gets pushed to the side.
Mm-hmm.
If the answer is no, then we can go to the next string on this platter.
I would, as the
Consider-
GM, I would highly recommend that you don't pursue the other. That is a Paragon level problem. That is not a 3rd to 5th level character problem.
But it's also an issue in the background.
Sure.
That I see that we taking all
And
these other little
it can
strings.
exist, and when it comes up,
Yeah,
it could be the side story.
I
It's
know.
story C that comes in
No,
every
no,
now and then.
I know.
The question is this our main
I see.
priority? Is this the one we drop
So,
every
From my
single
perspective,
So, as a quick
we
note,
need weapons.
This is actually session 0 redo, because session 0 is when these things are supposed to happen. This group did not officially have a session 0. We kind of all wandered in at different times.
Yeah.
So in the middle of the story, let's do a session 0, which is, what do we want to do?
I am concerned about the undead thing, the undead connection.
Okay, so now you're talking about the specific things on the platter, and that's fine. Somebody should be taking a note of what they all are. I think it should be the paladin.
Yeah, I have my paper in the car.
Well, you can use some of our papers. I got a notebook here.
Yeah, we got notebooks, so
I bought a notebook.
Oh, you did? Good.
Yeah.
So you can transfer whatever notes you make today to that, but there you go.
Especially if
there we
that
go. This,
quartermaster and the undead connects
Well,
to
hold-
that undead on the island who says you
Hold.
can't imagine what's coming. You
I'm
can't.
glad you remember that quote, because that is really key.
Do you have another pen?
You can't imagine what's coming. Well, the point is, I don't want to imagine. I want to know what's coming.
Well, the worst is my character has heard of the gate.
Undead, wipe out
Or
the
you've
heard of
living.
it, you know.
Or that's what happens when demons come in. They try to open gates.
Whatever, yeah, more than
Typically.
likely, whatever it was in your past that triggered you choosing them to come after you, that was more than likely the process of a gate.
So that's what So the connection with the undead is the gates. That maybe he's talking about these demonic gates, fiend gates.
Are these
that
your
they're gonna
platter?
start
Well,
opening
undead
up.
this is the
are
platter.
part
We
of
might as well give a
demons.
visual representation of
Undead
it
are their
because
own
there's
group.
too much stuff and
Oh,
everyone's
I
gonna forget
understand that. That's
everything.
Yeah,
why, like a lot of things,
Alright.
I'm like, I can't.
So
And it's
So
wrong.
sorry to be interrupting this. I'm just making a big thing of the platter.
It looks like we have the platter. I think
We have the majority of it,
One,
but
two,
I'm
three,
sure
4,
someone's
5,
going to
6,
be
7.
saying this is more important than anything else. So
Okay.
Okay.
what does everyone think is? I've got the submersible, the other, Bob. Some of these might overlap, so just keep in mind they are still strings on their own. The mansion, the princes, the seed, and the gates. Is there
Well,
any
the
other
undead.
ones? Undead.
The undead connection with the guy on the island.
I'm just trying to get
Right.
the platter going. I'm not trying to get the
the
details of it.
quartermaster, and
I think there's a
the
connection
hints
there,
of
maybe.
great calamity facing us.
Well, the other could be
And then
also.
Bob is also in here. Bob's everywhere.
Well, that's the reason why he's doing it the way he's doing it.
And then
It's
Prime Water's everywhere too.
Pride Water.
The problem
I
is
know.
almost everything has its fingers in everything else. The other are tied to Bob, who are tied to the mansion, who's tied to the quartermaster, who's tied to the princess, who's tied to the commercial.
So these are like
Everything.
the red. Okay, so these are like the push pins in the board, and you guys are gonna
Yeah,
draw the red
yeah,
lines
yeah.
between them.
Got it.
But you need to have,
We need to know which pin to
and
start
you
with.
want to stop at some point because otherwise you'll have nothing but pins, and you won't have anything to link them. So
Okay.
I think actually the undead can be held off because it's actually part of the mansion.
Well, the only reason I'm bringing it up is because she keeps bringing it in.
Right. So
She
the,
Why
demands
are
it's
we
on the
holding
table.
that one off?
because you already have the mansion listed. The mansion included the fact that he's setting it up as his HQ. That's why
Okay.
you guys ran out.
Oh, not just that, but when we got there, there was a ship full of undead,
Right.
and they brought because we were there before. Yeah.
See what
So
I'm
he's
saying?
taking that. He's pretty much like probably form his own domain,
Okay.
whoever that is,
Right.
on the beach.
And we
So
have
if the mansion
Which
and
is
the
kinda close
undead
to
are
us.
join.
And then that tower also has a bunch of undead close to the mansion. Pool watchtower.
well, the windswept and the
That's what-
seed are directly related as well.
They're
because
related,
both-
but not
Yeah,
exactly.
like that's my shit.
But I think if we
Well,
pursue
Kern does
any
have
of
an
these,
invested interest in that one, but I know that he probably has. Dockmaster, the fiend,
Harbor Master.
Harbor Master.
So, my thing is, any of these, as long as they lead to us getting weapons or some sort of thing that we can have overall the others.
To have like a,
So the question is just which string do we want to pull?
I know.
Because the thing is, all of these can lead to weapons. All of these can lead to others being captured. All of these can lead to the day being saved. The question is, we have to pull the string. Which one are we pulling? If we go with the idea that all of these will do everything, it's just the different route that we have to take. Which route is what I'm trying to get at.
Do you know the watchtower with the undead in it is one of the closest? We might be able to gain information there.
Watchtower with undead.
You're- no,
It wasn't?
the watchtower. Whole watchtower is not got undead in it.
Oh, okay.
No, I sensed undead, like a lot of it, when I did my primeval awareness.
Of the tower itself.
No,
But
remember,
then-
your primeval awareness doesn't give you
It doesn't give you
It just
location.
gives
And
you everything.
You were
within the
coastal,
mile.
and you were
you're
near.
outside.
You were near the ruins. You
Oh
were,
no, it's Monster Hunter sense. As an action, choose one creature you can see with its. Oh no, never mind.
Right. It wasn't. It wasn't the.
Oh,
Wasn't the
never
guards
mind,
of the
never
whole
mind.
watch.
Okay.
It was actually you were looking
okay.
at the ship.
Just in general, there's undead.
Right.
Alright,
Okay.
So I'm just going to ask a question to the group right now, just because let's take some of the stuff on the platter off.
Yeah.
Do any of us want to actually pursue the other directly?
No,
No.
not at this time.
I don't. Do you?
It's too soon.
All right. So
Even though I feel that they're the
They are a big bad. but they're
biggest threat, but
Okay.
well, it's
they're
just
far
all
away.
this could build up to fighting that.
exactly. So the question
I
is
agree.
just which. I'm trying to eliminate a couple right now,
Yeah.
so that we can finally just go. When someone says, "Well, what about this?" We can go. We're going to hold that off,
Unless if whatever.
unless it
direction
basically gets
it-
right in the middle of our
So-
path.
Got it.
How many things do we have out there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
9.
7, 8, 9.
Okay. Number that
I don't
110.
like Bob.
Well,
I'm kidding.
the
Group
Number
wise,
that-
we're just putting these off to the side for now. We'll number them later. The numbers
Bob.
aren't
The
even
way
on
the way
that.
he's taking them off will be the order from the top of the pile will be the least significant. He
Okay.
flips it over.
Bob.
well, let's go. What do you think?
I
I
think Bob-
think his
I personally
quartermaster
view-
is more important than the Bob.
We'll keep Bob.
It's not about who is more important. It's about
Yeah.
do we even want to pursue it?
Can you affect anything against him? That's the real
Not
question.
at this
also
time.
this also includes
So
the
he's out.
sexton and everything
Yes.
that has to do. Okay.
This basically, if we view it's exclusive to Bob, which is the sextant and his current ship and its soul sucking nonsense.
Connecting to
Do-
all the other
So
ships.
this also implies if we're going to go directly against him, do we want to pursue ways to get the whole necklace thing sorted out? Do we want to pursue the ship's freedom rights and all this? That means if we're going to pursue this, that's what
says-
we're pursuing.
He's voting to take that one off the plate.
Yeah, I don't.
I view Bob more as an asset right now, so I'm not
to me,
even
he
viewing him
treats
as an
me
enemy.
okay. I'm pissed off about that. No,
He more
no,
or less
I
just
mean,
got a good wordplay
I-
over you.
Yeah, I agree that. Yeah, out of character, I agree that
Are
Bob
you
is a
turning
good
those
asset.
face down or face up?
Face down.
Those are the ones that are face up are the ones that
On
are
the
still
table.
in contention for
Okay.
the primary course.
The way he's turning them, the last one will be up on top. The,
I know. I said it will be the least significant when he gets
Okay.
done. We will only worry about the one that's the most significant, and then literally it'll be okay. Reveal the next one.
mean,
That's one we're going after next.
I'm sorry.
Or we
so
could just
I didn't get
review
your
the packets
input
again
on
and come
Bob.
to it at. And
What do you
No.
think of Bob?
That's too much for us right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's worried about. He's terrified of Bob.
Oh, okay.
He's sick
Bob
to
owned
my
his
soul.
Bob owned his soul
I just
for a
got
while.
back from that.
Bob.
Bob put you in a
fine,
gray
but
slime
take Bob
space.
off the list for right now because we're not high enough to deal with.
That's.
But we're gonna probably have to deal with.
We'll
it.
get
We're
to it
not
later.
powerful
I know,
enough.
yeah.
You looked at the team that came in here.
They were collecting stuff.
and they're still not powerful enough to face most of this stuff.
Gave me some magic. I was like, wow, yes. I'm like all happy with.
Well,
one
and
little
the
magic
weapon they
item.
gave you was appropriate for your class. Holy crap!
Yeah, that's funny.
What was it?
They give him a
Sickle.
sickle that
He is
deals
a
cold
Ice
damage.
sickle.
Like
Yeah.
Grim Reaper now? Like,
Yeah,
That's
that's
a little one.
It's a hand
I'm
one.
assuming it's a hand one.
yeah, sick.
Because
Yeah.
a
'Cause the other one's a
two-handed
scythe.
is a scythe.
the side is
Yeah.
the big
Side.
one.
The
Yeah.
scythe is about that long. It is not
was
small.
6, 7
That would be more
They
appropriate if I was
cut
a
down
necromancer.
road
things.
It's
Or
for
is
taking
that
that weight.
farm
big
hand?
as it
Death
could
cleric
be
walking around with
that
a
a
sword.
man could handle and cut
Wow.
through the
Anyways,
wheat.
Just have music on one side.
Okay.
all right.
Okay.
What
So-
randomly you?
I'm
pick
just
one
gonna
then?
go with the mansion. What do we feel about the mansion?
I hate the mansion.
Do you even want to do anything with the mansion?
The advantage of the only advantage of the mansion is the mansion does tie several of the things that people have actually directly talked about, like the undead together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we should certainly scout it out and take a look at what's
No, that
going
we're
on.
not talking about exactly tactics. We're just talking about whether or not it's going to be a primary focus of the group.
Which is next
We'll
to
put
the,
on a maybe.
the tower.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll make
let's-
a maybe pile of the
Okay.
ones that we're just on the fence of. Right
The-
now, we're just trying to determine which is the first thing we're going to
Yeah.
pursue.
So right now, that's a
mansion
maybe.
is a maybe.
So the mansion, is it close to the? Was it whole watchtower?
Yes.
Okay. So it's in this
It's
general
within
area.
sight. As a matter of fact, it's within sight.
They're
of
like in
the
this.
west.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's where. Okay. That's
They're on
tied to
opposite.
the-
They're opposite side. They're opposite sides of
And
the
there's
inlet
also
to
the-
the sea.
Fake
Mm-hmm.
Sahuagin, the speed,
Sapween, or whatever how I pronounce
fish
it.
people.
Sarip-
Saprazan.
Saprazan, there you go.
Okay.
What do they call?
Saprazza.
I think the princes should be put off to the side for now.
Well, those
I
guys.
do.
We're gonna see them everywhere.
They're gonna have their fingerprints everywhere. Well, their lack of.
But direct, yeah, I
yeah,
agree.
direct.
With
I think it should just be off
well,
to the side.
we're like working with one, kind of.
We're kind of working
Working
with like three.
two or three.
Three.
Yeah, because Bob
just
works
made it-
directly for one.
And then the Whitney, don't you guys?
With
you
these have a deal.
connections.
They have.
We
Dad
have-
has deals.
Dad has deals with all of them to a degree. So at the moment, it's more or less just another supply chain.
Okay.
I think we lack the power for the harbor master right now.
Yeah.
So I think that if we were to pursue
sounds
it,
like-
we'd have to be
He's
pursuing a lot
at this point. He's
more
still
effort.
an active resource for you to gather information because he's not going anywhere.
So he's a no.
Yeah. So he could be later if we happen to find stuff. It might reevaluate his position with us, but
So I get a better weapon to kill him with.
That's
yeah. We start talking to the Temple of Procon about imbuing holy water into your icicle.
It's just glowing.
The seed, the main seed, I have no idea what we'd even do with this
What-
thing.
Wait,
what's
seed
that?
is the
Mountain.
ship.
Yeah. The current. He didn't have
The
the
kite.
title. Whatever the. What's
The
it?
kite, the current.
Yeah,
kite.
what's the kite's name? I know our note taker has it.
We just called it the seed when I was.
I think
No.
so, but that has a specific.
It has a
I
name.
don't think
Okay.
I have
He
it.
introduced himself as the captain of it.
Oh, really? Okay, I don't remember that.
Oh, here it is.
He said the first.
Arthur,
He was the
Bond,
first speaker
Sky.
for the.
Yep.
Oh, that's
Yeah, first speaker, I guess, of the something.
But anyway, the seed is just the Eldrin vessel. Unless you're gonna want to pursue that from the standpoint of talking to him about the windswept, because you
Yes.
guys intentionally left that out of the conversation with him because you're afraid they'll go to
Oh,
ownership arguments. Because Malsalol would more than likely lay claim to it.
I think they should.
I feel one of
I
our
know
most prominent chances of actually getting
The
something is
strongest
the submersible.
The
I
strongest.
feel we actually have a strong chance with the submersible.
that one's connected to the. It's not direct connection, but they're in the same area with the mansion.
Yeah, let's put it on the maybe.
And, well, everything's within range of Silk.
They say
Maybe
but the
pile.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
that's what I'm saying. Put it in the maybe pile again.
I guess we should have looked around more before we left.
You know that Kern wants the windswept, but if no one else is even remotely interested
Yeah,
right
that was
now,
all I
I'll
was
put it
thinking.
in the later.
The
But I
sea
do
and
want
the
to tell
mindset.
the elves about it.
You know,
Great.
you want that in the game, right?
Well,
Well, I
I'm,
want it, and in meta, Kern got one vision about it. So
Oh,
it might be a
yeah.
later down the road thing, but it
for me, it's
Kern
the
is the
fel-
most
I don't know
invested.
why the Fellstones. That's my draw.
you like the sound of them.
Yeah,
So
he just feels
maybe
it's strong.
maybe
that
pile
could
right
use-
now.
Maybe pile.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay. Well, like I said, I was fine with putting it away, but I felt Tiara had something interesting with the gates. Was that just me mistaking Mary or Miri?
Mary,
Mary
Now-
was creating gates, but she's not talking about extra dimensional. She's talking about extra.
within
not extra
Nycos.
plane,
It's a
but extra
Nycos to Nycos.
communications network. is all.
Okay, so that's not
That's
even
Miri.
that's
For
even
me-
on our platter then.
Because
but-
the gates haven't really come up. They came up once, maybe.
Well, they came up
Or
with
was
Bob's
it-
transportation thing. That's kind of what I interpreted it as. Because it
that's
has to
when
do
you
with
realize-
the stones.
But then you did mention that that's what my character knows is that there's more demons now. They want to create gates.
Right, and that's a different
and that
term
has,
than
and that has
from
to do with the stones.
Elsa.
Gravelings.
Stone? Okay.
The
Oh
Gravelings.
yeah, that's
The,
true.
the gates are made of gravelings,
no. The gate.
or they use them. Or
The
something.
great no. The Gravelings can actually destroy gates.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so they're
That's
that's
why.
some of the pursuits.
So I would put it here because
Mm-hmm.
the actual pursuit of them means you'd have to go find them, and we don't even know where any of them are.
Exactly. And then the last one's the quartermaster that was on Bob's ship. That's what this.
That's actually part of Bob's ship, I think.
Yeah.
Hmm. I kind of viewed it as separate based on how conduct with him went.
Right, because he was the one willing to
Because
make
he
the
was
deals.
basically saying that so he kind of hinted that at any point he'd just throw Bob under the ship and get someone else to do the job he needed.
Leave the captain.
So
makes him more powerful.
higher up than Bob.
That's your halfling, and I think it's going to tie into
The
your
undead
submersible a
halfling.
bit.
So
Well, I mean, yeah. I like the Gravelings thing, but that's part of the submersible
Right.
and probably the mansion.
So we have the mansion, which does imply some undead and other stuff. The submersible, which possibly has the gravelings and
And
the
fake
and then the
Soprazza.
windswept, which has to do with fellstones and possible armaments. I would like to now defer to the paladin on his opinion on these three. We all approach with our things. Mansion for her, submersible for you, and windswept for me. It seems.
Wait, what about the armaments?
So
Wait, what-
Technically, they can all leave.
the
armaments.
windswept. Oh yeah, they all. But the windswept might
Manifest.
have
Had a manifest.
that.
Suggested weapon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fellstones too.
The submersible was stealing stuff from various warehouses, so
Including
they
Gravelings.
could, yeah. And the mansion is
Known to be a
Guarded
place
by
that's
undead.
already warned you that he knows stuff you don't know about what's about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So we might pursue him, right, to get more information on.
Yes, and you've been on his island several times now.
Yeah.
so yeah. It's just
Which you want to pursue in order.
I just don't want to go in that mansion again.
Okay.
I don't
Into
want
the
it
what?
Crazy.
you don't want the Sturges to attack you.
No, that
No,
crazy
he's about the-
lady.
he's about the lady.
That lady.
Crazy lady?
Annoyed me.
Yeah, we don't have to go.
Oh, the
crazy.
ghost.
Especially blood out.
Well, who knows?
Like
if
the
it was
bleed
a-
out ghost?
Yeah. Anyways.
Just bless your
That
soul.
Kern didn't see.
Well, I plan to get across. I'm gonna.
That's when everybody got pissed off. Like, what, Kern? You're not
Find
even
something to
helping.
melt
He
down
did
the
help.
hole.
That's honestly when everyone just started going,
And
we
get a
can't trust
crossbow
Kern.
with
Why?
silver.
Because he didn't see her as a
Start shooting
threat.
ghosts.
Huh?
Start shooting ghosts.
But
Oh, start shooting the ghosts.
He wants to go. He wants to go to the mansion to go hunting ghosts.
So,
okay.
Mansions of Madness.
So you guys want to vote on it then?
Well, no, you're stating what
I
the
have that
order,
book.
which 1, 2, and 3.
We determined what is going to be our choices. You determine the order.
The easiest
As you
way,
are the leader.
guys, the easiest way mechanically to do this without bias is for each of you to write down on a piece of paper in order 1, 2, and 3, with 1 being highest and 3 being the lowest. Which of those 3 you want to do first, second, third? Then you hand those to me folded so that I don't know who wrote them. Then I do the math and tell you what you came up with. Now it's possible to end up with a three-way tie.
Okay, right
There were
right
four
now,
of you.
what is 1, 2, and 3?
No, you
No,
say
you-
you write what you want to pursue and you put the number 1, 2, and 3 next to it. 1 being the one you want to do first, right?
Right. So just for clarification, the three are mansion, submersible, and the windswept. You have clues going to two of them for certain.
One's a little obscure.
Actually, no, you got clues for all three because you got the conversation with the undead recruiter.
Does anyone need an extra pencil?
I have a pen.
Doesn't matter how you write it.
Blood.
Oh, and for clarification, you can't write 111. Just I haven't looked, but
Just a
you
moment.
can't just say I want to
I'm
do all of
gonna
them.
need my paper then.
Okay.
I put 333.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, I didn't understand. So
I wasn't sure, so I just put question marks.
I'm assuming if you put no numbers, it's just whatever order you put it in is what.
Oh.
Okay, there was the windswept, the mansion, and what was the third one?
The submersible. So 1 being the thing you want to go to first, 2 being second, and 3 being never.
Well, the third.
I'm joking.
No.
Because I'm assuming that when we finish 1, we're going to look at the stack again and go, did anything get more important?
That's exactly right. Matter of fact, you may write notes on. You may want to keep something like this alive because you may find things that apply to one or more of them.
Linked to number 12, undead.
Go,
John,
go
so
to
do we
your
all-
room and you have all these.
So do we all want to put in like 15, 20 bucks each and we can buy John a giant corkboard that we can start putting pins in the wrench string?
I'll get him a cork one.
I was joking, but I would love
Actually,
to
what
see.
I'll do is get something like looks like a platter that we can write on.
I like that. Get a silver platter that you can put magnets on.
Well,
a silver
no,
platter.
Here's
it's
your
not
platter.
not silver is not magnetic.
No, you just put like a iron slab behind it.
An iron slab. You know how much iron costs?
Depending on how thin it is, not a lot actually.
Wow.
Oh god, it's almost hands down. Or it's just so diverse.
No, the first three were all different and therefore countered each other's weight.
Perfect.
The fourth one broke it, so I'm just looking to see.
If points change anything else.
Yep.
Well, what you
Do you
do
need
is
a scratch
assign,
paper
if
to
they're
get
in first
No, I got it
place,
in my head. We're good.
they get 3 points. If they're in second place, they get 2 points. In third place, they get 1 point. Add up the points.
I did it the other way around.
Or it's just golf, the lowest number wins.
Lowest combined total wins. Yeah.
It's flog.
Well, it makes no difference whether you do it reverse or in, you know. or
So flat out, I'll say we've got 2 votes for windswept at the top and 2 votes for windswept at the bottom.
Oh, I was about to say, like, what?
That's a weird one.
Yeah, so those
Oh,
are
me,
That is why it's
Because
weird.
I was like, windswept. is-
Only
well,
because of the
Well,
chance.
remember.
No, don't tell me. I didn't ask who, so
yeah,
don't worry
sorry.
about it.
Yeah, I know. I'm not. I was about to say this.
Okay. Each of the others got 1 as. So mansion and submersible each got a vote for being the first. So windswept mechanically, technically wins on that tier alone. But let's look at the others.
I am blown away on that one, actually.
The mansion gets 2 votes. I'm sorry. The mansion is clearly the number 2 action you'll be doing because there were 3 votes for mansion as number 2. Then finally,
I think maybe the
I think we should
submersible.
just roll our.
and the submersibles and windswept tied for the last on the other side. So that means the clear winner by having 2 votes for it being first, the pursuit of the windswept has been given priority, followed by the mansion, and unfortunately, ironically, followed by the submersible, which is ironically the most live, most recent evidence you have is on the course of the submersible. But submersible falls out as the lowest priority.
Only because there's some technical problems.
No, I think it's the loot factor. Everybody goes, windswept? There's stuff.
It's old.
There's fell stones, man.
Yeah, to be honest, nope. I did not vote for that one, but
So
Well, it doesn't matter
Do
now.
we?
I'll share. I don't
I
care.
do have
No,
a question.
I mean, when
Do
soap
we
was at my
ask the
bottom because I
elves
felt we
for
didn't have
help
enough.
finding
now,
it?
okay, so now this is the advantage of doing this because now that we know that windswept is the focus, we can now shove all that other stuff off to the side as important. And so when you pick up clues along it, you may include them in your notes and stuff, but your focus is going to be how to find the windswept.
Look, the note-taking pages.
Isn't it over here?
The voting pages give me the note-taking pages.
Exactly.
Wasn't our last
The-
somewhere around here?
it
Because there's
disappeared.
a storm here, right?
Disappeared. Yes, there is
Oh,
a
man.
massive storm.
And now I can take the time to do this. As I did not feel that we were away from prying eyes and listening ears, no offense, Mr. Paladin, but unfortunately you were kind of...
Compromised.
Not you.
You were unfortunately inhabited by something that Bob was utilizing.
Yes.
And I also didn't trust the ship. You know, the
Yeah.
wood has ears and eyes. The sexton gave me a vision of the windswept.
Who did?
The sexton, when we were
You-
on Bob's ship.
Okay.
Did you tell me about the sexton? I don't think you did yet.
We
We did.
determined that
Okay,
everyone
this
got
is-
what the
okay.
sextant was.
Got it.
So you're aware of what it was.
Yes.
But
So
they
so-
waited. They actually were prudent enough to wait until you were actually on the saddle, and they said, "Oh, by the way, that thing we went and talked to, yeah,
It's hideous. So yes.
it's a demon
So
you'll
so,
eventually
so
get
in
to kill."
meta, this is Kern telling you stuff when it's important. I didn't want to tell you the sextant on the ship because I didn't know if that would piss Bob off enough.
Fair enough.
So, on it, it was a vision where I was taking the place of the owner of Cutley here. The sword.
Which was
The dwarf. I don't remember his name. And he was caught in a storm. And
Vigo
as
Strauss.
it seemed like the ship was
Vigo
going...
Strauss.
It seemed like the ship was going down. It was a hazy dream caused by possible poison, so unless someone has a way to possibly bring dreams back into focus, it is a possible lead, but it's going to be hazy.
What do you remember?
I remember he was dancing around in the sky as if the wind itself was his foothold in the middle of a twisting storm. I don't remember getting any descriptors of the land itself, as it just seemed like he was
The sky.
fighting-
The sky was a hazy green.
Yes.
Green. That's
It
weird.
doesn't match anything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, didn't the harbor master mention? No, he didn't. Never mind.
Could they possibly be stepped over into another place?
Well, the storms are very strange things in themselves. They are multicolored. Perhaps we need to find a green storm.
Okay, that sounds good. Possibility.
Well, you can. I can
And-
already verify the storm to the south. The big storm actually is green.
And if I remember correctly, he had another weapon. A
Yes.
cutlass and something else, but I don't recall what you told me it was.
I believe I told you he's using a cutlass and the main gauche. And the main gauche is the knife where you hold the handle, but the blade comes out, has a point here, but then it runs down the outside of your arm.
Okay.
Oh, it's almost like
It's like a blocking.
a baton almost.
Yes, except that it's bladed.
But it's bladed.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, it's
Unfortunately, it was a dream, so he wasn't really looking at it with great care.
Those of you that have military or rather martial background, which would be both of you, can make a history. No, history check, even without proficiency.
So just
Now
So
look
you
at
roll
me, I
a
can't
d20.
even remember
Here you go.
friends.
Eight.
Except I rolled a natural 20.
You're a
But I
paladin.
wouldn't know.
You probably have a +1.
Oh, I have a picture.
Oh, you have a picture of your character sheet? Perfect. It's not that high,
Okay.
unfortunately. I don't think it's
So
above
yeah,
11.
I just wanted to see whether or not you might have known the fighting style,
What
which
was
would
it
give
under?
you a clue.
So history. Oh, so there we go. Yeah, you're not proficient, and you have a -1 intelligence.
So your 9 becomes an 8. So you guys both rolled the same thing.
Not the smartest paladin.
Oh wow.
So I'd love to give you my roll. but I don't have any.
And she has no
knowledge.
background on it, so she
No
couldn't.
background whatsoever.
Actually, I was gonna say, what's your because he has a 9 intelligence. What's your intelligence again?
14.
Okay,
Oh.
I was about to say.
I have a
I hope we're
plus
not
one.
playing with 3 players with a negative intelligence.
No, no.
No, he got his +1, right?
Plus 2 of
Does it?
14.
Yeah, but I rolled a 3.
Well, I'm just. You got an 8, so I just wanted to make sure you didn't have a negative.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so no additional information from that aspect. But now that you're going to go after the windswept, you want to recheck your manifest. Tell me what you know the manifest says, and I'll let you know if there's something else you could actually have found. Well,
It was just a single
the-
sheet, right?
yeah, it's just one single sheet.
One single sheet.
There wasn't anything very descriptive. It was just a
Yeah, but-
normal.
But I think you wrote down a bunch of the stuff that was on it. So just tell me what you have written down, and I'll think if there's anything else that you might have found. It's one of the things where
So
there may have been a comment that you wouldn't have thought about, like on
was the Temple of Procon for a storm deity? What was? I'm trying to
No,
remember.
he's a deity of the oceans.
So that
He's
his
actually
colors.
Tempest, or
He's
possibly.
blue and white.
he's blue and white
light.
veil.
Well, the only reason is because if it was a Tempest domain, then they
Then
might
they would be
have something
purple
more. Well, I was
But
going to
no,
say they
okay.
might have more to do with the storm.
But what I'm getting at is no, as Procon as a god of the sea, he's 2/3 of the triad of time-related religions.
Mm-hmm.
The nihilists want the storms quelled, and blue wants nobody to mess with the storms. The third of the triad is the chaos side, which is make more of them, and that's purple.
Yeah.
So you have 2/3 of two-thirds of the triad, which is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And they would have information about the storms. As a matter of fact, more than likely, they would have studied them externally to know more details. So asking the priest of Procon about the storm might not be a bad
Wait a moment.
course.
Didn't they say? Didn't she say something about never touch anything that's in a storm, never bring it out? But the difference would be this shit doesn't.
What if something
belong
went
there.
in? Yeah.
It belongs where?
Now. It belongs as part of the now.
It belongs in the now.
It belongs in the now.
In all kinds of ways, it belongs to
Every way.
Now, do
It
we
belongs
tell,
to the present. It belongs
do
to the
we
now.
tell the elves? And
That's another question. You
And
know
then-
that Malsala will have information on it. You know that he will be. It'll be. How's it saying? If he gives you an answer, it will be rife with mistruths, incomplete thoughts, and such, because they obviously would want their own vessel captured or regained. But you don't even know if he knows that it vanished in the storm, unless you told him.
no,
Nope.
no.
I
Because
Tiara?
we didn't realize it was a storm until now.
Tiara, I am going to respectfully request that no information on the windswept leaves the group without the entire group present.
What?
If everyone is not there, please do not divulge any information on the windswept unless it is of the utmost importance.
Okay.
And
However-
utmost is the smallest child praying for you to come save them is about to die without it.
Okay. I'll say the
That's
job.
my 5. Well, we have to quit the actual conversation because we are out of time for the show. But I'm sure we'll continue talking for a little bit hereafter. Thank you all for watching. We'll hope to see you
You
again
sent them
next
away
time.
without giving out the cupcakes. I forgot.
Oh, doggone it. I guess you guys all have to have a cupcake.
Yes.
Have to?
Have to.
Yeah.
I thought you didn't get to.
That too.
That's it. Okay.
There you
I just
We wanted to give them to everybody.
yeah.
Well, maybe they're
I'll take them home and freeze them.
or Bryce and those guys may still be out there playing miniatures or something.
Maybe.
We can see. But
go. Some frozen cupcake.
the blessing is that we all get them anyway. So
Yay. Oh.
and go ahead and hand those out while I end the stream. Thank you guys. Everybody wave.